Welcome and thanks for joining us today. You're listening to the Women's Broadcast Television Network, and I'm your host, Shay Vaughn. WBTVN is the all-women's internet television station where content is created by women and for women. And today joining us is Ava Hawley, and she comes from a background in music and theater and family that are all entrepreneurs. She says that's why all roads lead to where she is today. Running a talent management company, special events company with lots of little legs. She says, my thoughts is always to be different. I just like being different. I think that that's where the entrepreneur comes in. So to be able to stand up and to be who you are and just take and take notes on that, who you are, so that you know that. Anyway, welcome, Ava, to the show today.
Well, thank you for having me, Shay. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So when you talk about entrepreneurship, tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I guess it goes back to my ancestors, had a custard stand, had a shoe repair business, and then to my family who had business on the road. They used to take a summer business on the road, and then they had a stationary brick and mortar place in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, right off the boardwalk. They did have a place on the boardwalk when I was very little. I guess I started there, and then grew into managing the junior department store, the shoe store, the restaurant, and all kinds of crazy things that went along with that.
Great. So I do want to let the audience know today, because we're so excited about it. You've got a new show that you're going to be doing on WBTVN. Tell me a little bit about that, because I know that it airs on the 23rd.
Yeah, that's tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that. And I want to keep it based around empowerment, about business, empowerment through business, through entertainment, and through fashion. So we're going to start each show with a fashion statement, and then bring on different guests and different businesses that are helping people find their path in life.
Wow, that's a lot to put together. Have you always just loved fashion?
I did. I think, I don't know that it came to me right away. And people used to call me the shoe lady and the bag lady. Now shoes don't love me, so I'm moving to bags.
Right, let's get those flats out.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just always been entertainment driven, I guess. And everything kind of, like you said, leads back to where you are, and just decided to put all the experiences together into one place.
Great. And so each segment is going to open actually with some kind of fashion design, or?
Yes, fashion statement. We have a supermodel that loaned us her beautiful purse collection design, and she's also on the cover of a fashion magazine. So that opens up the first show. And we talk a little bit about that, and then we go into having our special guests.
So I want to go back again to this entrepreneurship, because you actually ran your father's business for a while.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what was that all about?
Well, he had a junior department store on the boulevard in Seaside, which is now a nightclub. And he carried everything from the Western Union machine to the lottery tickets, all the way to Whiting and Davis jewelry and purses, if you remember that.
I do.
Jansen was one of his big suppliers at the time. Lee Jeans, all big companies today that started out in my father's store.
Oh, that is amazing. So what happened that you ended up stepping in and running it, though?
Well, they wound up living, as they got older, they wound up living in Florida in the winter months. And then so we kind of took over the business when, when they were out of the area. Me and my sister.
Also, yeah, and I also want to mention that you're a published author.
I am. I'm
and you
excited
also are a songwriter.
Yes.
So where's that all that, that's really creative stuff. So,
well, I went to Penn State on a 4-year fine arts scholarship, and I studied everything from building sets to stage acting. When I came out of there, I started a disc jockey business for another major company, and then broke out and started doing that on my own.
Oh.
So I wound up doing things at weddings and doing things for brides and pulling all of that entertainment stuff together. And like I said, it just led into the different avenues that I'm embarking on now.
Right. I know that you also talk a little bit about, lifestyle, healthy coffee and tea.
Yes.
One of the things that I saw at the bottom of your email, and you say that you actually do it with a mused artistry.
Yes, that is a friend of mine who's a partner in my company. I'm a partner in her company, and she works with world-renowned artists, and they do a show called The Air Project that runs all over the country. It's music and live painting art together. And she also is working on a fashion magazine. So now we are working on a fashion magazine with the pocketbook line that we're working on. However, it's not going to be the typical fashion magazine. It's going to be different. So,
Okay, so what's going to make it different?
well, it's going to be project based. So we're going to follow a project from beginning to end, whether it's a show that's going on, whether it's a storefront that's going up, whether it's a band and behind the scenes, whether it's Atlantic City Fashion Week or
Yep.
New York Fashion Week or Dallas Fashion Week. And we go from the behind the scenes all the way to the end product. And that will run throughout the magazine.
Well, I think that's an interesting twist on magazines and what they really produce. But, one of the things that I really do see, I mean, we have digital, magazines now. We never, had anything like that before. And so that whole industry in fashion and how they can get the word out and all of those things are coming really to video and live and streaming and all of those great things. So I think that sounds like an interesting, twist.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think we all have to constantly find a way to stay with the times and be able to use the old school and the new school together so that we're reaching that large audience that works both ways.
Yes, and that's what WBTVN is all about, is
Yes.
giving that platform to women across the country, across the world, that really have a desire to have a broader audience and be able to get their message out there, their brand out there, and themselves out there.
And that's what attracted me to it. And I really love what I'm seeing so far, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Well, that's great. So tell me a little bit about, you do talent management. So do you have clients that?
I do. We work with mostly the original singer-songwriter and the break-in model. The music industry itself is just, it's crazy. And with the internet and so much access to music, it's really difficult to get people, as I call it, to stay above the bubble. So that's where the whole different thing comes in. So I'm trying to work with, I have a few clients that are original singer-songwriters. The cover bands are great, but they're like all over the place. Anybody can find a cover band to play somewhere. If they want to really make it and be an original artist, then they need to follow certain footprints. Whether they're different or not different, they still need to follow a certain footprint as an original artist than they would as a cover band artist. And I think both of them can kind of interchange a little bit. Like an original artist can do cover songs, not necessarily that a cover artist could do original songs. It depends. And they should find like the happy medium to do both.
Right. So you've got clients that you guide or book?
Correct.
Okay.
I kind of guide them, do the press kits for them, help them get on local TV shows, local radio shows, maybe even my show.
I was just going to say, now they can go national. And
it's perfect. So it really ties in nicely to everything that I'm doing. So I thought it was a really good fit.
Oh, that's great. And also, I want to talk about, you're an author, and how did that come about?
Oh boy, that's a funny one. My book is kind of a funny book. We're working on getting it into a chain of travel restaurants right now. But it's a book on your bathroom experiences in public places and how they relate to starting a business. So when I work, exactly. When I had a lot of people read it.
Come out. I'm not quite sure what we're talking about.
Yeah, get it. I got that same reaction when I was test marketing it around. It's crazy, the stories that happened to me in the public restrooms. And so I found a way to relate them to different things that happen in a startup business, things you have to look out for. And, cracks in the plumbing, management by walking around, all those kinds of things that happen in a business that relate to something silly and funny that may have happened to us in public restrooms. And it's really a fun kind of book. My parents actually encouraged me to write it. And, and so there it is.
There it is. Okay. And so is it published already? Can people get it?
It is published, but it's not online. I'm not that good with the online stuff. I'm really good with setting up the book signings, teaching people how to make manuscripts, getting the publishing part going. We're really good at that. So the online, I'm still learning. So they can get it through my website, which is 4astar.com.
Okay, great. Say that again.
It's 4astar.com.
4astar.com.
Yeah, and they can just scroll down to the book tab and they can just, reach out to me and they can get a copy that way.
I know that you lost your mom and to brain cancer.
Yeah, it's still a pretty touchy subject. It was 8 years ago, just the other day, and it's still hard to believe that it's been 8 years. I mean, she was never sick a day in her life. She was only in the hospital to have me and my sister, and got an aggressive brain tumor and was gone in about 4 weeks. I guess that's good when I hear all the different stories now about people suffering for long times with the disease. But I started a foundation shortly after we lost my dad, which was a few months later. And it was a trying time, as my parents lived in Florida and I lived in New Jersey. So we lost my mom, had to do the Florida thing back and forth. And then a few months later, lost my dad and had to do the same thing all over again. So I wound up starting a foundation for brain cancer research and teaming up with the National Brain Tumor Society. In fact, they'll be one of the charities that we donate proceeds from our pocketbook line. We have 21 different charities involved in that line to give back.
Right. Well, I just think it's so part of our life, our business, our everyday, existence. And that is to give a hand up and to give back. And we do the best that we can. I think that there's a lot of people that want to do more in that area, but, they have to take care of their families and they have to take care of themselves. And, one of the things that I just want to say is do what you can do, because it all makes a difference.
Well, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I wasn't going to start the foundation. I just thought, who needs another foundation to give money to? And I went to sleep one night and I was awakened by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talking to me from my TV. And I met him when I was a teenager. I was in a pageant and I happened to meet him. And he woke me up to saying from the TV, one person can make a difference. And I got up the next morning and started the foundation.
Right.
And I said, it's got to be there for a reason. So
right. Well,
I never would have found the National Brain Tumor Society if I didn't. It took me a while to find them.
Exactly. And that really shows where we're passionate about something, and maybe that trigger was because your mom got brain cancer, and so that's what the nonprofit organization is all about. Right. It doesn't make any difference what it is, as long as you're passionate about it and you want to do something about it.
Exactly.
So kudos to you for
Thank you.
taking that step forward. So we know where we can get you. Say the website one more time.
Sure, it's the number 4astar.com.
4astar.com. So what would be your words of wisdom? Because you've given so much of that today. But what would you tell somebody that's, trying to get, some publicity, whether they're, an actress that's, trying to find a manager, or music, and your background is in music and entrepreneurship and management and all of that. But what are the things that you see on a day-to-day basis that you would like to address?
Well, first of all, you really have to know that that's something you want to do. You can't say, oh, maybe I'll give this a try. I mean, yes, try it, but you have to try it with 110% commitment. It's not something that it's hard work. The modeling industry, the entertainment industry, especially the way it is today, it's hard work. The second thing is, I'm saying, if that's your passion and that's what you want to do, don't give up, because something will come. Stay with it. Stay with people that are loyal to you and that you can be loyal back to. That's really big. The loyalty issue is not so good in that industry. You have to find somebody that you can work with, that you know their strengths and weaknesses, they know yours, and that's how you will propel each other forward.
Well, I love that. And I think there's so much truth in that. I think that you do have to put yourself in some kind of a circle with other people that are
Yes.
going to help you, that
Yes.
you can promote in whatever way that happens to be. But equally as important is that it goes both ways and that they can promote you and to help you. And I think that's how trust is really built, is following through with the things that you say that you're going to do and what you want to do.
Exactly. Sometimes people think it happens overnight. It's
Yeah.
a lot of hard work, and you have to stay with it, and just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. Well, from the bottom of my heart, Ava, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. And I want to thank the audience too, always, for being here and being with us and listening to the stories that we bring to the television network. And how they got to where they are, because it's always interesting to find that out. And some of us can really relate to some of those same things, which I think is even more important. So if you're interested in being on the Expert Spotlight Show, please go to wbtvn.tv. There's a form, fill it out, and we'll get back to you. So until the next time, everyone, feel joy and health in all that you do. Take care now. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.